Defining relative clauses. The defining relative clause or the adjective clause with number 1, who, whom, which, that, and whose. The relative clause is a group of words that describes a noun by giving more information about this noun. It tells which noun we are talking about. Example: the man who lives next door is a teacher. Who lives next door is the relative clause that describes the man. Who lives next door comes next to the noun it describes, which is the man. This is the car which Mary bought. Which Mary bought describes the car. It comes right next to it. The relative pronouns who, whom, which, that, and whose come directly after the noun they are referring to. They come directly next to the noun they describe. Example: the boy who has black hair is Tom. Who has black hair describes the boy. The relative clause who has black hair comes next to the boy. The girl whose car is green is sitting on the bench. Whose car is green is giving more description about the noun the girl, and it comes right next to it. Let's start with the relative pronouns who and that. They replace the subject of the sentence and they refer to people. Example: this is Tom, full stop, he sits next to me, full stop. We want to combine these two sentences into one sentence. We focus on the second sentence and we ask ourselves 3 questions. Where is the repeated word? The repeated word is he, because it refers to Tom, he. What place does it take in the sentence? It is the subject of the sentence. And what does it refer to? It refers to people. So the options that we have are who and that. Who and that are our choices. So we remove this full stop, and instead of he, we replace it with who or that. The answer is, this is Tom, who or that sits next to me. Don't forget to put the full stop at the very end. 2, the boys are noisy, full stop, the boys live next door. Now we focus on the second sentence. Where is the repeated word? The boys. What place does it take in the sentence? It is the subject and it refers to people. So the choices are who or that. We first remove this sentence. We remove this full stop. And then we replace the boys with who or that. Then we take this whole sentence, who or that live next door, and we put it right next to the boys in the first sentence. And the answer is, the boys who or that live next door are noisy. Full stop. Remember, we have moved who or that live next door right next to the boys in the first sentence, because as we've already mentioned, the relative clause must come directly after the noun it describes, right next to the noun it describes. 2. Who, that, whom. They replace the object of the sentence and they refer to people. Who, that are more common nowadays. Whom is very formal, rarely used. I don't like the man. Full stop, you've hired the man. The man in the second sentence is the object of the sentence. It takes the place of the object and it refers to people. So the answer, the man will be replaced by who or that or whom. And then we remove this full stop and the Y will be changed into a small letter. And the answer is, I don't like the man who or that or whom you've hired. Of course, we've put who or that or whom right next to the man, right next to the noun it describes. And then we continue the sentence. You've hired. In this example, we can remove who or that or whom from the sentence because they replace the object of the sentence. I don't like the man you've hired. Who, that, whom, continued. Example 2. The actress is famous, full stop. Jane likes the actress, full stop. Where is the repeated word in the second sentence? The actress. It takes the place of the object and it refers to people. First thing, we remove this full stop. And then we replace the actress with who or that or whom. And we put it at the very beginning of the sentence. And then we move who or that or whom Jane likes after the actress, after the noun it describes. The answer is, the actress who or that or whom Jane likes is famous. Here we have removed who or that or whom. Because they replace the object, we can remove them and we can have the sentence as it shows, the actress she likes is famous. We've removed who or that or whom. The actress Jane likes is famous. Three, which, that, they replace the subject or the object of the sentence and they refer to things or animals. When they replace a subject, example 1, we have 2 dogs, full stop. The dogs are very big, full stop. The answer, we have 2 dogs, which or that are very big. The same steps apply. Where is the repeated word? The dogs. What does it refer to? It refers to an animal. The choices we have, which or that. We have 2 dogs, which are very big. Don't forget the full stop at the very end of the sentence. Example 2. The cat is friendly, full stop. It lives next door, full stop. Here, in this example, we have to remove the clause which lives next door next to the cat. The answer is, the cat which or that lives next door is friendly. The cat, which or that lives next door is friendly. We have moved which lives next door right next to the cat in the first sentence in order to be right after the noun it describes. Number 2, when which or that replace the object of the sentence. Example 1. She loves the house, full stop. I bought the house, full stop. Where is the repeated word in the second sentence? The house. It is the object of the sentence. It refers to a thing. So the answer is, she loves the house which or that I bought. Here in this case, we can remove which and that because they take the place of the object of the sentence. She loves the house I bought. Example 2, the bike was sold, full stop. I liked the bike, full stop. The same steps, we remove this full stop. And we replace the bike with which or that. So, and then it's going to be which or that I liked. We take which or that I liked and we put it after the bike. And the answer is, the bike which or that I liked was sold. Full stop. We've moved it after the bike in order to be right next to it, right next to the noun it describes. The relative clause has to be right next to the noun it describes. Because it is the object of the sentence, we can remove which or that. The bike I liked was sold. Full stop. Don't forget the full stop at the very end of the sentence. Note 1. Who, whom, which, that. We can leave out the relative pronoun who, whom, which, or that when the relative pronoun is the object of the verb. Example, English is the language, full stop. I study English, full stop. English is the language I study, without which or that. This is a correct sentence. English is the language I study, because which or that replace, they replace an object, we can remove them in the relative clause. English is the language I study, without which or that. Note 2, with who, which, and that. We cannot leave out the relative pronoun when the relative pronoun is the subject of the verb. Example, we live in a house, full stop, it is very big, full stop. We live in a house which is very big. We cannot remove which because it replaces a subject. Number 4, whose. It refers to a person, animal, or a thing, and it takes the place of a position. Example, possessive apostrophe S, like Mary's, or its, or her, or his, or their. 1, I feel sorry for Mary, full stop. Mary's file was lost, full stop. The answer, I feel sorry for Mary, whose file was lost. Whose replaces Mary's. 2. We saw our friend. Full stop. His car had been stolen. Full stop. We saw our friend whose car had been stolen. Whose replaces his. Of course, we remove the first full stop. 3. The cats are over there. Full stop. Their owner lives next door. Full stop. In this sentence, we will replace who there with whose. And we will remove the first full stop. Whose owner lives next door? We will move it right next to the cats in the first sentence. And then we continue the sentence. It's going to be the cats whose owner lives next door are over there. Full stop. Whose owner lives next door? It refers to the cats. It has to come right next to the noun it refers to. 4. The teacher won the medal. Full stop. Her class was the first. The teacher whose class was the first won the medal. We removed the first full stop. We replaced her with whose, and we moved whose class was the first right next to the noun it refers to, which is the teacher. The teacher whose class was the first won the medal. Full stop. Note 3, whose. We cannot leave out the relative pronoun whose in the relative clause because it takes the place of the subject. Example, this is the boy whose father is a teacher. This is a correct sentence. This is the boy father is a teacher is a wrong sentence. Position of prepositions in relative clauses. When the verb is followed by a preposition, example, look for, travel with, look at, live in, etc. Prepositions with which and whom. This is the book for which I was looking. This is the formal style. رسمي. This is the book which I was looking for. Informal style. الغير رسمي. This is the book I was looking for. This is the very common style. The actress at whom I was looking is very pretty. Formal. When I say formal, I mean the preposition is right before the pronoun, the relative pronoun. At whom, for which. The preposition is before the relative pronoun. In other words, the relative pronoun is right next to the preposition. At whom, for which. The actress whom I was looking at is very pretty. This is the informal style. We put the preposition after the verb. The actress whom I was looking at is very pretty. The very common style, we remove the relative pronoun and we leave the preposition. The actress I was looking at is very pretty. Very common style. Prepositions with whose. The actor in whose life they are interested has nothing to hide. This is the formal style. The preposition is before the relative pronoun, or the relative pronoun is right next to the preposition. 2, the actor whose life they are interested in has nothing to hide. Here, this is the informal style. We've put the preposition after the verb. At the very end of the relative clause. This is the informal style. Prepositions with who and that. Who and that are not used after prepositions. They come before the preposition as shown below. A, the company that she works for sells cars. This is a correct sentence. The company she works for sells cars. This is a correct sentence. We've removed that. The company for that she works sells cars is a wrong sentence. We never put the preposition before that. B, the manager who she works for is Canadian. This is a correct sentence. The manager she works for is Canadian. Here we've removed the relative pronoun. It is a correct sentence. The manager for who she works is Canadian is incorrect. Remember, the preposition always comes at the end of the relative clause with who and that. Two, relative clauses with where, when, and why. In English, the words where, when, or why can also be used as relative pronouns that describe a noun. We use them to make it clear which time or place or reason we are talking about. They come right next to the noun they refer to. Example, 1, where. We use where for places. I know a good restaurant. I usually have dinner at that restaurant. The repeated word is restaurant, and it refers to a place. So the answer, I know a restaurant where I usually have dinner. We also can remove where, and we put instead of it a preposition at the very end of the sentence. I know a restaurant I usually have dinner at. Full stop. Two, when, we use it for times. The day was sunny. Full stop. We met on that day. The repeated word on that day, and it refers to time. So we use when. The day when we met was sunny. Full stop. We can remove when, and we say the day we met was sunny, and this is the correct sentence. Don't forget the full stop at the very end of the sentence. Why? Why is used for giving reasons. The reason is no, full stop. The boy is late for this reason, full stop. For this reason, it refers to giving reason. So we use why. The reason why the boy is late is no. We can remove why, and it's going to be the reason the boy is late is no, full stop. This is a summary sheet. You can read it on your own. Summary, this is summary number 1. This is summary number 2. You can read them on your own. It's a kind of a revision. let's start with exercise number 1. I'll read the first example with you, and then you can answer the exercise on your own. You will find the answer after each question. Join with the suitable relative pronoun who, whom, whose, which, or that. Example. The book was very interesting. Full stop. I bought the book. The repeated word in the second sentence is the book. It is the object of the sentence. It refers to a thing. So the options we have are the book which I bought was very interesting, or the book that I bought was very interesting, or the book and nothing I bought was very interesting. The book I bought was very interesting. And don't forget to put the full stop at the very end of the sentence. Dashes mean nothing. Now you can answer the rest of this exercise on your own. You'll find the answer after each question. We read the head of question number 2. Join with the suitable relative pronoun. Where, when, or why. Example. I'll do the example with you. This is the hotel. Full stop. I usually spend my holiday at the hotel. Full stop. At the hotel, it refers to a place. Then, it's where. This is the hotel where I usually spend my holiday. Full stop. Now you can do the rest of the exercise on your own. The answer is available after the question. That's it for now. Please don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.